So if a tree falls in the middle of the forest and no one heard it, did it make a sound? The real question should be, was there a witness to the experience? Because the witness and the experience go hand in hand. The experience does not happen unless there is a witness there. And the witness does not manifest unless there's an experience happening. The witness and the experience goes hand in hand. One needs to exist for the other to exist. The experience does not exist without the witness, and the witness does not exist without the experience. Where am I going with this? So, as consciousness, right, we exist on levels. The level of consciousness that we are at, it allows us the ability to have a sense of self. This same ability that we have to have a sense of self is the same ability that gives us perception. All right? As above, so below, as within, so without. Consciousness has a mirroring effect. All right? Just like how the witness does not exist without the experience, and the experience does not exist without the witness. It's the same way your sense of self does not exist without perception, and perception does not exist without sense of self. As a matter of fact, the reason why you're able to perceive anything, it is because you have a sense of self. This is the mirroring effect of consciousness, the mirroring effect of consciousness. It is a mirror. Whatever you are perceiving, whatever is in the perception on the outside is a direct reflection of what's in your inner matrix as your sense of self. In other words, what I'm saying is there is no difference between your sense of self and perception. There is no difference between your mind and reality. There is no difference between you and the universe. All right? If you did not have the ability to perceive a sense of self, you would not have the ability to perceive anything as a reality. It is because you exist as a sense of self is why your reality exists. You are your reality. Everything that you perceive as your reality is you. I know it's deep to grasp and understand, but you need to understand the type of consciousness that we are. All right? Everything that you create, everything in your reality is you. Because if you weren't there as sense of self, you wouldn't be able to even perceive it as a reality. It is because you have the sense of self why you're able to perceive. Remember, the witness does not exist without the experience, and vice versa. Your reality does not exist without you, baby. All right? And think about it. If your perception is subjective, then your reality also must be subjective. It is based on you. It is your sense of self. Okay? So let me give you a couple of examples of how this works. All right? So, and we already do it, but we're just not conscious of it. So a couple of examples. Let's take love, for example. And you can look at the map of consciousness. I forgot Dr. Hawkins. All right? It kind of give a little bit of explanation on this, but if you look at love, you can't perceive what love is unless your sense of self is in reverence. Or in other words, if your sense of self is not in respect and admiration, then you can't perceive love on the outside. Okay? It's a mirror effect. If your sense of self is in anxiety, then your perception will be fear. Okay? When people are talking about manifesting and oh, I want this, listen, if your sense of self is not in abundance, then you can't perceive all the other things that's attached to abundance, like money, wealth, power, riches, and all that stuff that comes with it. Everything that you are perceiving as your reality is you, is your sense of self. I know this is some new knowledge that is going to be hard to digest, but you need to meditate on this. This is the beginnings of understanding your reality and why you create the reality you create. All right? If your predominant emotional state is in anger, then everything that you perceive will be in the form of anger and comes with everything attached to that emotion of anger. All right? Look at it a different way. Let's say let's say, God forbid, you had the power of Thanos. You got the rings, you snapped your finger, and 99.99% of everybody lost their ability to perceive or have a sense of self. You would be the only person literally existing in that world. The other person you're looking at, you wouldn't exist to him. The reason why you wouldn't exist to that person, because the person doesn't have a perception. He can't perceive you. He doesn't have a sense of self. His sense of self is his perception. If he can't perceive you, you don't exist to him. If you were the only person that had the ability here to have a sense of self and perceive things, nobody else would be able to see you or perceive you, because no one else has perception but you. You see how this works? You wouldn't exist to the person because the person doesn't exist. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it again. You wouldn't exist to the person because that person doesn't exist. The sense of self is not there, so perception is not there. And if perception is not there, you don't exist. You're literally just not in the perception to exist to the person. So unless you exist, your reality doesn't exist. You are your reality. There is no difference between your sense of self and perception. There is no difference between your mind and reality. There is no difference between you and the universe. You are everything. Meditate on that for the day.